Hello, I'm Darren Eisenberg, corporate MC, presentation skills host, and speaker on positive influence. Welcome to this brief yet enlightening demonstration of the capabilities of the Evolve event platform. As our world changes, the production and the presentation of effective online education has to change as well. And this requires that you radically reimagine your communications and not just take the same things you did last year and transfer them online. Online events are much more similar to the world of television than to a traditional conference. That's a world where audience attention is limited and distractions are unlimited. So it is really vital that you keep sessions engaging and to the point. The Evolve event platform puts you and your team of speakers into your own branded set, primed for a high-quality online delivery. The Synergy Effect team and some friends are about to show you how you can have your people engage with and be educated by experts from anywhere around the world. In today's event, we're going to take a brief look at the relationship between leadership and influence. Now, there are many factors that play a role in that relationship, but in order to keep our content engaging and to the point, we've enlisted the help of 3 experts to each give us a 1-minute bite-sized thought starter on just 3 of those factors: customer service, connection, and storytelling. Our first guest presenter is Jackie Scammell. She's a speaker and a mentor and an author of 2 books about service mindset, which is the ability to always do what is best for our customers. And I don't think that's as easy as it sounds, as in my experience, a customer can be bossy or rude or unappreciative and demanding, and that's just when the customer is me. Jackie believes that the leaders who influence the best customer service cultures treat people inside their organization the same as they treat those outside their organization. To find out more, it's over to the Queen of Customer Service, Jackie Scammell.
You can't teach people to care. In service, you've either got it or you don't. Really? Do you believe that? I have a full-time career teaching people to care, and there should be no demand for my work. But there is demand, which means there's an opportunity. The level of care is not consistent in organisations. And if a CEO's job is to deliver predictability, then why do we leave success to chance? The truth is, service is simple. It starts with culture. You can teach people to be kind, curious, and attentive. But leaders make it complex. And, they bring more systems, more procedures, more rule books. They forget their real jobs. And the real job of a leader is to make it easy for others to follow you. After all, that's what you were hired to do. So it starts with you. You need to believe it. You set the tone for the day, how you show up, every mood, every thought, every word, every gesture. It has a ripple effect. You set the tone for the day. Leaders who influence the best service cultures, they treat people inside and outside the same. And as a result, the way employees serve, it's effortless. It's in their DNA. Therefore, as an organisation, you have a far greater chance of predicting consistent service in the way people serve.
Thanks so much, Jackie. The lesson is internal customers, external customers, it doesn't matter. Treat everybody well. Oh, it reminds me of what my father used to say to me, which was, be nice to everybody. You never know who'll end up on the jury. Now, if you would like to know more about how leaders can predict consistency in the way that your customers are being served each and every day, be sure to watch the 10-minute presentation on the website. Up next is Rob Moorman. He's the creative director at Hunting with Pixels, who is going to give us a taste of how leaders can improve their influence by not only using language which truly connects them to the people around them, but that also positions them as incredibly credible. So the challenge to overcome in achieving that, Rob was telling me, is that most people are really terrible listeners. And that means that, something I didn't quite catch. Anyway, for an inspection of a selection of his reflections and recollections, let's head in the direction of the King of Connection, Rob Moorman.
People, look at the state of the world right now. How is it possible that we're not listening to the smartest people with the best ideas? Leaders and experts understand that we need to have the more considered, fact-based conversations, but they're being drowned out are people who are just good at sounding like they have answers. And that's a huge problem for all of us. I've interviewed over 2,000 leaders in my life, and here's what I've learned. To be effective as a human being and a leader, we need to balance the credibility and the emotional connection. But there's often a huge discrepancy between where we like to be and where our audience needs us to be. So the messages aren't landing. We're not meeting people where they're at. Imagine if you become the kind of leader that people want to listen to. What kind of impact could you have on the world right now? Credibility and emotional connection can be measured and improved upon. It's not guesswork. You can find some great tools to get started right here. When leaders and experts connect meaningfully, it changes their world and ours.
Thanks so much, Rob. It makes sense that in order to lead, in order to influence, you need to know how to become someone that people want to listen to. And if you're interested in listening to what Rob considers to be the factors that make people switch off when you're talking, you should make sure that you tune into his longer presentation on the website. Our final presenter is Yamini Naidu, whose claim to fame is that she is the world's only economist to have turned professional storyteller. It's true. She is passionate about storytelling. She teaches storytelling. She is recognized as one of the best storytellers globally, which is all something I'm quite jealous of because I've always wanted to be good at telling interesting stories, but sadly I was told long ago that I never could, which is something that I would love to tell you about, as it is an interesting story, and therefore I'm not able to tell it. But I do know someone who does have an interesting story to tell about telling interesting stories. So it's over to you, Yamini Naidu.
I remember when I was 10, my teacher, Miss Asha, came into the classroom and she asked us to think of a sentence. And she said the sentence could only have 10 words. Each of those words could only have 2 letters. And the sentence had to make sense. We tried and we came up with nothing. She then wrote up on the board, if it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. That day, Miss Asha influenced a classroom full of children to think differently about life. But not just in that moment or for that day, for the rest of our lives. That was my first brush with influence, and I was hooked. Influence is about getting people who turn up to turn on. It's about getting your clients to pick you today, tomorrow, and into the future. I'm an economist turned business storyteller, and I work with leaders and business professionals, showing them how they can find, craft, and share stories to connect, engage, and inspire. Whatever you're trying to achieve in business, storytelling can help you get there faster. Guaranteed.
Well, thank you so much, Yamini. If it is to be, it is up to me. Oh, I love the challenge of making a 10-word sentence in only 20 letters. It actually reminded me of a similar challenge given many years ago to Benny Andersson, the main songwriter for ABBA. Someone asked him if he accepted their challenge of writing a song title with 10 words and only 15 letters, to which he replied, I do, I do, I do, I do, I do. So, if you'd like to hear more from Yamini, she'll be exploring the evolution of influence from hard power to soft power and demonstrating how to quantum leap your influence using story power in her longer demo version on the website. Well, that was the last of the more traditional style presentations that we wanted to show you today. Just so you know, Evolve events are a mix of pre-recorded presentations and live interaction. So these 3 speakers, they were recorded earlier, but we wouldn't normally reveal that to our guests at an event. But pre-recording gives us more control and a better result. And what we often do for live events is we bring them all back at the end for interaction with your guests. Now this could be through a Q&A session with all of the speakers, or possibly a panel discussion fueled by guest questions, or even a follow-up discussion where we poll the guests about what they want to hear and the answers then direct what comes next. So for example, in this event, We could have asked the guest something like this. As a leader in your organization, which of these elements is the most important? Is it A, creating and maintaining effective connections with customers? Is it B, finding the right balance between credibility and connection? Or is it C, influencing clients to buy you over your competitors? All three are key questions, and you in the audience can give us your input in real time. So guests respond by selecting their preference, and the responses are immediately summarised, and we present the results back to the group. So as you can see, 31% selected option C, 23% went for B, and a whopping 46% chose creating and maintaining effective connections with customers. So let's bring back Jackie Scammell to explore this a little bit further. So hi Jackie, welcome back and congratulations on being voted as the most important presenter of our three in our show today.
Thanks, Darren.
Do you think that that's a surprise that you got that vote, or is it really a reflection of how important connections are to service culture?
Yeah, I think it is a true reflection because service is a real privilege, and as humans we're wired for connection, Darren. You know, our minds, we crave it. So there's a brilliant saying that I always keep in mind, which was coined by an American philosopher back in the 1920s, a guy called John Dewey. And he said that the greatest desire of any human is the desire to feel important. And so, you know, we all want to be heard. We all want to be seen. We all want to feel like we matter. That's part of the human connection condition. And I think that service is a beautiful role in society to allow that to be felt.
Well, that's true. I've never really thought about that connection between how good service makes a person feel important and how important feeling important is. But speaking of importance, the people who are sort of most important in an organisation for leading a service mindset are the leaders. And do you think they overcomplicate this implementation and this creation of a service culture?
Well, we certainly want clever leaders running our organisations. And we've also been conditioned to apply a lot of logic and systems and processes and procedures. And sometimes this stuff sort of gets in the way of service because service is really simple. And when we overcomplicate service, we lose those human qualities, those subtle qualities like what we just talked about, you know, feeling heard and seen. So I think that, you know, leaders have the all great intention of quality service in their organisations, but it really is quite simple. And we've just got to remember to let those human qualities shine first before rule books.
Well, thank you, Jackie, for coming back and sharing more of your wisdom.
Thanks, Darren.
And of course, if people would like to learn more about service mindset, they just need to hop on the website and click on the link to your longer presentation. So that brings us to the end of our Evolve Events demonstration. A big thanks to all of our presenters, Jackie Scammell, Rob Moorman and Yamini Naidu. And don't forget that you can watch bigger versions of all of their presentations through the links on the Synergy Effect website. And to you who spent your valuable time watching, thank you too. And remember, if you are looking for the latest way to share your latest information with your greatest stakeholders, you can deliver quality online communications and events with confidence and edge and amazing settings through the Evolve Events platform. I'm Darren Eisenberg, and I hope that you can join us again next time.